Good evening, everybody. My name is Leslie Bartholomew, and we're here to talk about sports. My first story tonight is a rocky kind of story. The story is about the 1989 World Series that was uh, interrupted by the earthquake in San Francisco, and I have footage from that. Let's go to the footage.
The quake, reported by KPIX, says the strongest since 1906, occurred at 5:05 Pacific time. I was in row 17 of the upper deck directly behind home plate. Joe Torre was there, Chris Myers, Chris Berman, John Hamlin, our producer. I believe now, I don't have a monitor, but you, I've been told, are looking live at a live picture inside Candlestick Park. And initially, the crowd is very calm. There was one announcement made about 4 to 5 minutes, maybe even 3 minutes after the earthquake occurred, asking those, I believe this is what we heard, it was tough to hear the public address, asking people on the upper deck to leave.
All right, that was the story on the 1989 World Series being interrupted by the earthquake. Next to our story is our story about the Iron Man, Cal Ripken, who in September 6, 1995, broke Lou Gehrig's record of how many games he played. He played over 2,161 games without missing a day. And that was a major feat considering how tough it is to play baseball. And I have a little bit of footage for that. Let's take it from there.
The Major League's second 16-game winner, Sean Bosky, takes the loss. He's 6-4. Jesse Orozco picks up his first save of the year. Well, the time of game tonight was 3 hours and 35 minutes. But keep in mind, Cal received a standing ovation that lasted 22 minutes and 15 seconds.
I'll be the first one to tell you, Mel, right now that indeed he does recognize the enormity of his accomplishment, but he accepts praise with such reluctance, almost with a whimsical smile and nothing more.
So it's been an incredible 2 nights. Last night, Cal Ripken tying Lou Gehrig's record. The Orioles winning 8-0. Cal hitting a home run that made the final score 8-0. He had 3 hits. He came back tonight with 2 more hits, including another home run. Has homered in all 3 games of his series, and it has just been outstanding. Final score tonight: the Orioles 4, the California Angels 2. Stay with us.
And we're back. That was the report on Cal Ripken, Mr. Iron Man, which is perfectly fitting for him because he played a lot of games. The next story we're going to talk about is the home run chase in 1998 for between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa to see who can reach the 2 home runs or break the record that was held by Roger Maris. And let's go to that footage.
2. Hit deep to center. Grissom back. 60!
Let's take another look at it as Mark McGwire hits a line drive rocket. And no fans will have this baseball. It just barely clears the wall. And he knows it's gone. And then he gets so excited he misses first base.
I truly believe in fate after what's happened this weekend. I dedicated this home run to the whole city of St. Louis and all the fans here. Thank you for all the support. It's unbelievable. All my family, everybody, my son, Chicago Cubs, Sammy Sosa, unbelievable. Class. Thank you, St. Louis.
He jumps into the arms of his batting practice pitcher, Dave McKay, and then realizes he has to touch first base.
I have never cried at a ball game before until now.
What an absolutely awesome sight. When he went over to the Maris family and hugged them, went into the stands to recognize the fact that the record that stood for 37 years now has fallen. It belongs to him. It's truly one of the most miraculous evenings you could ever have at the ballpark. I'm just happy that you and I were here to see it live.
Well, we showed you before the game Babe Ruth's bat, Roger Maris's bat, and now the bat of Mark McGwire will be headed for Cooperstown as Stan the Man Musial, perhaps the most famous, most loved Cardinal in this illustrious history of the franchise, is watching a dawning of a new hero, not only for the city of St. Louis and the Cardinals, but for this game of ours as well, as Big Mac has made history here in the gateway city of St. Louis. 13 years after the passing of Roger Maris, he's hit his 62nd home run. He's dedicated the home run to the city of St. Louis and these great fans. And what an honor and privilege it has been to see it here tonight. And now it's Steve Trent.
And that was the story about Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire going head-to-head for the home run record back in 1998. Our next story is about Michael Jordan winning his fourth NBA title after his father died, and he retired and came back and rejoined the Bulls after trying baseball. So therefore, he won his fourth NBA title since come back from retirement. Let's go to the footage.
We're in the final second. The Chicago Bulls have won the 95-96 NBA championship. And the presentation of the championship trophy in just a moment. An emotional moment for Michael Jordan. The tears are flowing. We'll be talking with Michael in just a few moments, and I would think there is a tie-in with his late dad on this Father's Day, 1996.
Bob, Michael, I know that the first one was sweet, but how much sweeter was this one?
Well, you know, I can't even put it in words. My Father's Day, what it means to me. I know he's watching. To my wife, to my kids, to my mother, my brothers and sisters. This is for Daddy. I'm very happy for him.
Michael, that of all the accomplishments that you've made, that this may be the accomplishment? Why?
Well, this goes right up there to having my kids. My kids are the most important things to me, my wife, my family. But next to them, this is going to mean a lot to me because of what it symbolizes, which is my father on Father's Day. It means a big deal to me.
Now, you remember just a couple of years ago that early flight to Indiana where it all started. Now, all of a sudden, it looks like this is a culmination.
It's been a long road. It started from scratch. I had a lot of support from my teammates, from my family. I'm just happy for the city of Chicago. I'm sorry I was out for 18 months, but I'm happy I'm back to bring a championship back to Chicago.
And finally, tonight, thank you for the report on Michael Jordan winning the NBA fourth title. Tonight's breaking news was the end of lockout of 2011, where players and owners couldn't see eye to eye, so they they locked out players from training camp and all that stuff. We have a little bit of a news clip from to talk about it, so here is the clip.
Say it ain't so. An NFL lockout and no football next season. Players and owners are still battling it out. Another meeting with federal mediators is planned today. If no resolution is reached, which no one is really counting on, the Players Association is vowing to move ahead with plans to decertify the union. Now, if it does that, the owners can't lock out the players, and the whole matter would go to a judge instead of the bargaining table. Attorney Steve Allen joins us this morning with a look at where the issue is headed and how and why this all started in the first place. Good morning.
Good morning, Patrice.
All right, before we get to the decertification process this week, how did this get started? What are the two sides at odds over?
Well, the whole issue really is this. Football and baseball are both monopolies, but baseball has an exemption from the antitrust laws. Football does not. So to the extent that the owners have a monopolistic situation, which they do with football, and they're treating the players in a way that restrains trade, their ability to earn a living, then the antitrust laws apply. Now, because of the federal labor laws, so long as there's a union, there's an exemption under the federal labor laws to negotiate a collective bargaining agreement. But if the union decertifies...
Which is what they're saying they'll do Thursday before the agreement runs up.
That's right. Then we're in the Wild West. At that point, there's no exemption from antitrust. So if the owners then try to lock the players out in order to get a bargaining advantage in negotiations, the players will go in for an injunction, which they'll likely get, sue for damages, and the owners are then put in the very unenviable position of having to have football with no controls over player salaries. And that could be skyrocketing labor costs to the owners, letting the genie out of the bottle. Very difficult to put back in.
But that looks like where we're heading. I mean, they are going to decertify the union, and so there won't be this lockout that we've been talking about. It will go into that next phase.
Well, remember, football really doesn't begin until the summer.
Yes.
So the owners could decide to allow the union to decertify and not do a lockout and continue to negotiate. That's likely what the federal mediator will suggest. Or alternatively, there's a provision in the current contract that provides that the union can decertify as of the end of this collective bargaining agreement. But if they don't decertify, they got to wait 6 months. So what you may see is an agreement to amend that agreement to extend the decertification process out a month or two to allow continued negotiations. That's what I think may happen.
And the players are saying that, look, we just want a bigger share of this pie. The owners get this amount of money. We want more in on that. We want more control over some things. And that's where this all started, with them being at odds over that and haven't been able to resolve it.
Well, it's a traditional labor dispute. The players are saying we want to be paid more. The owners are saying we want to make more. And now there's the battle.
Okay, 20 seconds left. What happened? What does this all mean for the fans? If I have season tickets, people that have the sky boxes, what if there's no football? Are they still on the hook for those seats, those boxes?
They'll have to work that out. But I expect there will be football. I think there will be an agreement. It may not be by Thursday, but by the time spring training, the preseason opens, I'm still in baseball with spring training. By the time preseason opens, I would expect some form of agreement.
That might be all we have is baseball. I better get on board with the Orioles.
Well, the Orioles are doing better, hopefully, this year.
Go Orioles. All right. No, I'm still go Ravens. Thank you so much, Steve.
Okay, Patrice.
Well, all of this brings us to our question of the day, and that is, whose side are you on in the NFL contract dispute? The owners, the players, neither? We're going to take your calls in our 7 o'clock hour. You can also go to foxbaltimore.com and tell us what you think, or sound off through Facebook. Send us a tweet at Fox Baltimore.
That is the final report for tonight. That was the breaking story. I hope everybody had a good night, good information tonight, and we'll see you later. Have a good night.